It is finally your first day of our actual module learning. So let's go ahead and enter here to get started. We are starting with Module 1, Unit 1, Lesson 1, right at the beginning. All right, so as you click through every day, you'll see that the lessons have a little bit of information. They have your learning targets, and the learning targets are important because it tells you why you're going to do the work that you're doing. So at the end of this lesson, you should be able to infer the topic of this module from the resources. The purpose of this lesson is that you will engage in the protocol Infer the topic, which offers you a chance to work with other students to uncover the heart of a larger concept before you start to study a new topic. Then you are going to click this link to go to your first official module in Canvas. All right, now you'll see the parts that are currently in green to me. Every single time that you're doing your asynchronous learning, you're going to start with engage the learning or engage the learner. Engage the learning will have directions for you for the day. So even though your teacher is going to preview the lesson every day, the day before, even if you miss class or if you forget, Engage the Learning will tell you your directions for that lesson. So this one says, in this lesson, you will use evidence to infer the topic of this module from the resources. Directions for asynchronous learning time. That would be on your own before you come to class. Complete the following questions along with work time A, infer the topic graphic organizer before your Zoom meeting time. Then meet us in Zoom during your synchronous learning time by going to live lessons. By now, you guys have gotten really good at going to your Zooms on time. So now you need to make sure to complete the work ahead of time. This says discussion prompts. Respond to all of the questions below. And you have some sentence frames to help you. Sometimes you'll have sentence frames, sometimes you won't. So in a discussion, remember, you're going to click the reply button down here and you will type in your responses. Some people find it really helpful to highlight, copy, and then paste. That way you can go ahead and see the questions. Why do we have learning targets? We have learning targets because they help us. You would write your answer there and answer all 4 questions. And then you go down to where it says post reply. Okay. So that's part 1. I'm going to delete that and cancel because this is for you guys, not for me. All right. Then I am going to click next, which will bring me to our next portion, which remember it says I have to complete also work time A. So let's see what happens when we click the next button. Work time A says infer the topic note catcher. This is what my next button got us to. This says for this task you will need an infer the topic note catcher. As you work through the task, consider the following questions. What do you think you will be learning about in this module? So anytime that you see a blue link with this little pop out right here, you're going to click the link. It says, would you like to make a copy? Make a copy. And this will go directly to your Google Drive. It is very important that you rename it, delete copy of, and rename it with your name. I did first name and last name. Now I'm ready to respond to this. Now, I opened this up, but I don't remember what the directions were, so what do? I go back to my Canvas page and I reread. As you work through the task, consider the following questions. What do you think you will be learning about? Directions. Choose a starting resource. Look carefully at the resource. Record what you notice and what you wonder on your note catcher. Oh, okay, so that's what I'm doing with my note catcher. Choose a new resource and repeat the steps above. When finished, submit your note catcher. Okay, so then I noticed that this Infer the topic resources is here. And again, I'm reading very carefully the directions, and I notice that resource 1 is right here. Oh, this is cool. This resource is a picture, actually. It's not even a text, but it does have a caption. So what do I notice here? And this is what I'm going to write on my note catcher. So you might say, I notice that these look like big birds pulling the chariot. I notice he's holding some sort of an object. Maybe it looks like a flame or a sword. I'm not really sure. He's on the clouds. So I just choose something that I notice and I write it in my note catcher. And then my wonder questions, those would be questions that I have. I wonder if you wonder about this picture. Then when you're done, you go to the next resource that says resource number 2. So have fun with this. And remember, this is what you need to complete before coming to class on your Zoom meeting. So make sure that you have submitted your note catcher and that you are ready to learn during class.